All right, I think we are live. Let me wait for it to go here, and then we will look at questions and all of that jazz.
What's happening?
Can people see us? Yay, okay, there. And then we will look at questions. Oh, I should turn my own volume off. That would be helpful. Hi, guys. I think we're live now. Let me get the questions up. And all that. Yay, they see us. Awesome. Okay. Hello, I'm Lauren Shippen. And today with me, I have Dr. Bright herself.
Yay!
Julia. How are you doing, Julia?
I'm mostly good.
Yeah.
I'm maybe a little sick.
Yeah. It's funny, I was editing an episode the other day. I won't say which one because I don't want people now listening for it, but like it's an episode in which like a couple of us, I think, have head colds. And so everything just sounds slightly weird. And I was like, oh no, it's fine. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we're going to get rolling with, we've got a bunch of questions in the, from that we got on the comments of the post, but please say hello in the chat and ask questions in there as well. Indeed, fuck the flu. It's true.
Was that like a...
Yeah, YouTube like flagged the comment because of the profanity. But come on, this is the Bright Sessions. We say fuck all the time. We made Jenna cry. Or you made Jenna cry. She made me cry too. Recording that, which was...
Well, you made me cry. Am I allowed to say that I made you sing to me? Well, I just said it.
Yeah. No, that's
fine.
Yeah.
In that episode, I made her, not that this is the big loop Q&A,
right? But, you know.
In that episode, after Anna did her recording and left, I still needed to react to Anna singing.
Yeah.
So I just made Lauren sing.
Yeah.
Which was my plan all along.
Very wise.
But I immediately started crying. So really,
it was good. It was good.
Great. I'll just have Lauren sing to me if I ever need to cry ever again. Cool.
I'm trying to take that as a compliment. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, The Big Loop is a fabulous podcast by Paul Bay, who's one of the writers of the Black Tapes and an all-around awesome person. And he asked us to be in an episode 2, right? That's what it's called You, but it's second episode, isn't it?
3. I think it was 3 because 2 was the comedy one.
You're right.
The studio.
Yes.
The comedy
it's the studio. The
3.
assassin one. Yeah. So it's an anthology series, so you can listen to any episode at any time. I highly recommend it. It's great. Brigham is in another episode, so like 5, I think, or something, and he's amazing in it. Yes. So go listen to that. But moving to the main topic, which is our show. Should we just jump into these questions?
Sure.
Great. Yeah. Cool. Let's see. I'm just trying to pick one. I'm trying to pick a good one to start. Okay. What are some bonding activities you guys do together? Or if you're already friends, what do you guys do for fun? Okay, wow, this is a couple different questions. Also, where does the car makeout scene come from? Fred and I are both somewhat uncomfortable, so to speak for reasons. Just talking about these audio, almost fun to spectate. It'd be cool to know the answer. Have we done bonding activities as a group? I mean, we are all friends, I'd say. I like to think so.
Yeah,
we're all friends.
We were
friends first.
Most of us were friends before we started the Bright Sessions.
Yeah.
But we do
karaoke sometimes.
Oh yeah, we've done karaoke.
Yeah.
We go out.
Yeah.
Bars, right? We'll hang out here. We'll go to lunch afterwards.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of
meals
centered. Yeah. A lot of things are centered around Bright Sessions, like after recording or like a cast party.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've done something like just for fun that wasn't like a rap party or like lunch after or before recording or things like that. It's been a minute because I think we're all just so busy.
It's hard in LA. I feel like in general, like if you want to get people together, you have to be like, it's for a project, guys. Come on.
I mean, that's why I cast all my friends. A, because you guys are super talented, and B, because that's when I see you.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah,
in general. So.
But. Yeah, I think one thing that we've talked about is that we want to do that I just haven't gotten organized about is doing an escape room. Because both Julia and I love escape rooms.
Yes. We just have to find one that's big enough.
That's big enough and that neither of us have done before, which I feel like
I haven't really done that. I've done maybe like 6.
Yeah, but I've done probably like 7 or 8, and there are only so many in LA, you know? Although there are more now. There are definitely like at least a dozen.
Yeah.
Trust Falls. No, we've never done Trust Falls. Although sometimes acting is a little bit of that. Like certainly scenes you and I have done, certainly scenes that you and Andrew have done.
Yeah.
It sort of feels like doing, I don't want to say anything on this one, but I'm gonna have to email an actor and sort of ask them if they're okay with acting something and sort of send them the scene, because it's,
I don't know what she's talking about. This is so exciting.
Because it's definitely something that as I was writing it, I was like, oof, gosh, like this is, this requires a degree of trust in which I think, we all have with each other, but it's always, particularly if it's something that I'm in, if I'm acting in it, I'm always like, ugh, like, I don't want to like just put this person through this just, for my own acting purposes. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Whereas like, I don't know, making you and Andrew like be miserable together is like easier for me for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You guys are always so game. Speaking of degrees of trust, the sounds in the car makeout scene. So all of the physical sounds that we have in the podcast, with the exception of Damien being punched in the face and beaten up, are done in mic. So all the hugs, your and Andrew's hug in whatever episode that was that he returned, episode he returned, 30 something maybe, I don't know.
I remember.
And the Chloe Sam hug at the beginning of this season, and all of the kisses have all been done in mic, with the exception of an upcoming episode in which the kisses are going to have to be done off mic because someone decided to grow a very big beard, and that changes the sound. And you weren't here for the recording of that.
Yeah, I'm like, I have no idea.
This isn't a spoiler, but there's a Sam Mark kiss in 49.
Okay.
And as you're recording, like Andrew, I don't know if you've seen on Instagram, has a very big beard
out
now.
Of control.
And it doesn't work. The sound of his mustache makes it doesn't work. So that's gonna have to be done in post.
Yeah. Well, like how? Are you just gonna kiss someone else?
No, beard? Misha's gonna take care of it. I don't know. Okay. I sent them the dialogue edit a couple days ago, and like it's just gonna happen.
It's just like Lauren kissing someone else.
How we have so many people with beards that Brigham grew that beard after we recorded that car scene. Or like he had some scruff before, but it's really just a mustache. Like these are weird sort of technical things you have to think about. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it changes the sound. Which would be fine if Mark had a beard, but I don't think he does.
Not anymore, because Joan would have made him shave.
Well, right, exactly. I was like, I don't think this will make sense.
You wanna stay with me? That beard is off.
Yeah. This is why everyone is sick. Y'all kissing too much. Yeah, that's it. That's totally why. But like all those things are done in mic, because it's more convincing. Like both the sound is more convincing, and then the performances out of them are more convincing, I think. Like I for whatever reason, I think of your hug with Mark specifically. Like that was something that like was such an emotional moment, right? Of you guys finally having being together.
I remember that day of recording too. That was a hard day for me.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Yeah.
Was that the day we sat on my floor for like an hour afterwards just talking?
I was like laying on the floor like I'm the worst actor in the world. Like I just wasn't happy.
I know, which always just boggles my mind, because you like give these amazingly like emotionally vulnerable performances, and then you're like, no, I can do it better. And I'm like, how?
And then once I get in that head, then I shut down. I can't like.
Yeah, that's something that we do a lot as a bonding exercises. We'll just end up sitting in my room like for an hour after recording, just talking about stuff, or like sitting on my couch.
Actually, that
happens a lot. Which is nice. I think sometimes after some of the episodes, you need a little bit of a
wind down.
Yeah, a little bit of a decompression time before you get to the rest of your day. The hug when you returned, oh my God, that was such a good hug over sound waves. Yeah, I thought so. Exactly, the little oof noise, and then and sort of him like speaking into your shoulder, kind of muffled. Like that's just stuff that you can't really fake, when sitting across from each other.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the explanation of how all those things work. Jenna asks, do you guys share any Joan and Mark growing up headcanons? I mean, I think we both have our individual. I mean, Julia, put together this whole notebook. If you haven't seen it, well, I can go grab it.
Most of my stuff is from this notebook. All of my headcanons,
which I will now refer to. But so she printed out it for me. You have the original.
I do still have the original.
Yeah, and it's all of these like notes to and from Joan and Mark. If you haven't seen this, it's all on the website. Just go to bonus content, and it's Joan and Mark's secret notebook.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is something that actually for an episode that's coming up, I had to look. I looked back into this and be like, I want to make sure I'm not contradicting anything that Julia has brought up. So,
and it's mostly intentionally vague.
Yes.
Too,
yeah.
I wasn't sure, but that was all inspired by my sister and I used to leave notes for each other around the house, and then when she went off to college, we still hand wrote notes to each other and mailed them, and she like left me a little cassette tape where she would read books to me that I had, and then she'd like blow a whistle every time I was supposed to turn a page. So you could follow along in the book and turn the page. And then on the B side, she sang some like children's songs for me.
Oh my gosh.
And then at the very end, there's a recording of the Beach Boys' Kokomo, because that was my favorite song.
That was my favorite song when I was a kid.
Yeah, I still have that tape somewhere.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's like totally inspired by actual real life like siblings.
I didn't know about the tape. That's so great. Yeah. And it's something that like I've told the story before, but it was something that Julia and I had talked about in terms of like this is between seasons 2 and 3, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing the Sam road trip tapes, and we were sort of talked about like maybe doing some bonus content for Joan and Mark too. And I think, you had mentioned the note thing, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe like the postcards, because like Mark loves traveling. And then I sort of realized like, oh, but he hasn't actually done that much traveling yet because he got kidnapped. And then it was something that like, I was like excited to sort of bandy about more. And then just one day at recording, and Julia shows up with this notebook that's like half filled in already. And I was like, oh, great. Okay. And
apparently I do that.
You do this.
Apparently I do that because something came up today where she was like, I didn't expect you to just do that. I was like, oops.
Like I should know by now, Well, it's like I should know that's because you showed up day 1 of recording with a binder full of like of the scripts and like a biography about Dr. Blythe and all of this stuff, and it was so great. Like,
well, also my personality is just like if I know that I have something to do, I'll obsess about it until I do it. So it's easier for me to just do it and then get it out of the way and then go from there. Otherwise, I'll just be thinking about that thing that I have to do eventually.
That makes sense. Yeah,
it's better for me to just get it done. I'm not much of a procrastinator except in really specific areas, like like taking care of myself. The one part where it's like I gotta make that doctor's appointment.
Oh God, that's so real. Or maybe I don't. I didn't go to the dentist for like 3 years. Because also because I hate the dentist. But no, I should just know that about you now. But it still always surprises me because it's always like you come with these just complete things that are exactly what I needed, or like without sort of me knowing what I need. Does that make sense? Like this book was just so perfect. And so I think like definitely a lot of my own headcanons kind of grew out of this. And I think we stuff will come up occasionally where we'll talk about Mark and Joan's childhood and certainly the mixes that they've made for each other and stuff like that. That's like it all informs the relationship that they have now. I don't know if that answers.
There's
I don't know if there's a specific headcanon.
There's this one thing on Tumblr, and I apologize, I don't know who posted it, but it's like those little like fake quotes or fake scenarios that I love, it was something along the lines of like Mark accidentally getting caught on fire because some pyrokinetic thing, and then like 10-year-old Joni, like chasing him around the yard, trying to put him out. And that 100% is like, that has stuck with me.
Yeah.
I completely see that. Just like screaming, chasing him.
Like, totally on fire.
Yeah.
Like, well, I do think there are a lot of things like that in their childhood. And then we sort of allude to that in episode 49, the conversation that they have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of just like Mark always getting up to trouble in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I think, sometimes that was because of like, he didn't know that he was atypical and something happened. And there's some of that stuff in here. And then I think sometimes it was just because like Mark is kind of a disaster. Yeah. And so Joan, wasn't really able to be, and she kind of had to take care of things. Also because their parents are their parents. And that's something we'll be digging into a little bit more. I think that's actually a question in here that somebody asked. Yes, Hazel asks, will we ever find out what happened with Joan and Mark's parents that made them so afraid of atypicals? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know what the answer is. I just don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, I sent you.
Oh, is it
episode 51?
Okay. It's in there?
Yeah.
Sometimes I get confused as to what we've just talked about and what I've read in a script.
That's fair. That's fair.
It did come up. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we don't go into it.
Yeah.
But it is more sort of directly talked about than it has been before.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's an episode I'm excited about. So yeah, we'll learn more about that. There's more parent stuff coming up in part B of the season for sure. Okay, so Andrew asks, Lauren, with the podcast coming to an end in a few episodes, were there any character stories you wanted to get to that you couldn't fit into the structure? If so, will you be exploring those in the sequel series for Julia? You've been in almost every episode of the series. Do you change your approach when you're working with the various other actors, or are you trying to play Dr. Bright as consistently as possible to provide more continuity? Those are great questions, Andrew. Jump in if you have an answer. I'm thinking. Yeah.
I feel like I don't purposely change my approach. I think my approach has changed over time just because of the way that the series has gone. So the way that I interact with Brigham now is very different than the way I interacted with him in season 1. And that's just because we have this history of however many episodes together now. Right. Alongside that, I remember one of the hardest episodes to jump into was Mark returning. Yeah. This is why I had such a bad day. Because there's so much history between Joan and Mark, the most out of any character, but we hadn't acted that yet. Yeah. We hadn't experienced it. So it's all imagination. And then at least Andrew and I knew each other before we started. At least there was that. But then all that baggage was still just kind of in the imagination and not something that we had done through dialogue or in a previous episode or anything. So I found that was harder. But I think sometimes there is a little bit of oh, is this therapist mode? Is this friend mode? Is this big sister mode? Right. So there is a little bit of that where I'll have to check myself, or Lauren will just tell me okay, this is more like big sister. And then I'm like, okay. And then that's how I do it. Well,
and sometimes I think that conflict is part of it, right? Particularly in her relationship, I think with Caleb and with Sam to some extent too, in some of their conversations, it's you are sort of jumping between therapist and friend. And it's I really like when that conflict reads sometimes, because I think it's very true to who she is. Yeah. All these expletives that YouTube is flagging. Oh, good. We're talking about shipping. We'll get to that. There were a number of questions about Agent Green.
Right.
Yeah, but for the question that Andrew posed to me, with the podcast coming to an end in a few episodes, also somebody commented that we don't love you guys anymore because we're ending the show. It's actually because we love you that we're ending the show, because we want it to be good always. And I do think that the longer things go on, the sort of harder it becomes to maintain quality, at least on my end. And also I know what the first spinoff is about, so I know that an ending of sorts.
Not really ending.
Not really ending.
It's like the end, but it's not.
Yeah, it's like a
actually
transition.
not. It's like you might as well not have made that announcement.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's yeah. But to Andrew's question of like, are there storylines that I have not gotten to? I mean, yeah. I think throughout the series, there was sort of a big storyline with Chloe and with Chloe's mom that I just never got to. That involves some stuff that now is going to be repurposed into the second spinoff. And it just, there just never was a place for it. And there just never was like, it never made sense narratively. I mean, there's always been stuff with Frank that I want to explore, but again, that didn't necessarily fit in narratively because a lot of that stuff sort of happened before. And I don't like, Frank's been through too much. I don't like putting him through stuff now, you know, it's like, but I don't know. I think for the most part, in terms of where the characters are at the end of the series, and sort of what the arcs that they've gone through sort of have hit kind of the major things that I wanted to hit. There's nothing like important that's getting left on the cutting room floor. And there's certainly some stuff that's gonna end up in those two spinoffs that that's always been on the fringes of what we've been doing. That's my answer, and giving as few spoilers as possible. So very vague. People are worried about Chloe. Yeah, she'll be okay, I think. Seriously, what did Vanessa do to protect Chloe? I need to know. Yeah, that's I actually have no idea if that's ever gonna sort of be revealed. It won't be this season. It may be in the first spinoff. Yeah, it just shakes a lot of things up. So we'll see. There's some secrets that, you know, I like to keep from even my characters. Definitely wanted info on Vanessa, my unheard fave and Hurricane and about to say baby Chloe, but I would agree it would be awkward to shoehorn in. Yeah, exactly. It's just didn't really. If Damon gets his power back, can he immediately get piped to the head by Chloe? I mean, probably. Yeah, that's probably what happened. Alrighty. Let's dive back into the spreadsheet. Okay, yeah. So there have been a number of questions about Agent Green and Dr. Bright. So Troy asks, what was the straw that broke the camel's back between Agent Green and Dr. Bright? And then Joseph asks, do you plan on having an episode explore the history between Agent Green and Dr. Bright? I mean, I think the straw that broke the camel's back was him not telling her that he was experimenting on her brother. Yeah.
Knowing about Mark not saying anything, I think
that would do it. Yeah.
I also wonder though, and I know we've had conversations about this, but I don't know what's actually like canon and what's not. But I also wonder how much Agent Green was really, how important he was to Dr. Bright and how much of a boy toy he was. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, let's be real.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think definitely from Agent Green's perspective, we'll be getting a little bit of Agent Green's feelings on Dr. Bright moving forward, and I think from his perspective, they like, you know, and like that was it for him, right? It's like they started dating, and then I think he pursued her for a little while, and then they started dating. He was like, got her, like, this is it, this is it. And I do think from Dr. Bright's perspective, it was a little bit like I don't have to hide what my job is from you. You're there.
It's convenient.
It's convenient.
This is convenient.
You don't like challenge me too much, but you're smart. I think that's, you know, yeah.
But in Agent Green's fairness, I don't know if Joan ever could have a relationship that wasn't what you just said, which is like, this is convenient. You challenge me, but not too much. Like,
well, and like someone said, I love how it feels like Joan's not quite a romantic relationship with Wadsworth went way deeper than our casual romantic relationship with Green. I think that's part of the reason why maybe she never like got in too deep with Green, is that she had Wadsworth to kind of challenge her and be this person who was kind of on her level. And it wasn't romantic, but it certainly was like a deeper friendship than her relationship with Green. Yeah. I think it sort of ended up being this weird little like love triangle, even if it wasn't necessarily romantic or sexual on all ends. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I have a hard time. Someone was asking earlier, like who we ship Dr. Bright with. And I was like, I don't know. I'm trying to picture like her perfect man. And I just like, I don't know who that person is. Do you have opinions on this?
No, never thought about it. I always just kind of, I don't know. I don't know if she would ever find the perfect man. That sounds, now it's just gone depressing, right? No,
but it's just something that she wants, you know?
I don't know if it is what she wants.
Someone's asking, Jenna's asking, do you think Joan might be on the asexual or aromantic spectrum? I don't think she's asexual, because I think she and Green enjoy that part of their relationship.
Yeah. I just don't know if it's a priority.
Yeah,
like
I don't even know that she's necessarily aromantic. I just
don't.
I mean, I wrote out everybody's sort of sexual and romantic identities at the beginning, but I don't know that but it's never been a priority for me with Dr. Bright in terms of like thinking about what she wants out of
that. This question from Mona. Julia, you've talked a lot about your love for Loveless. Do you think Dr. Bright would be compatible with her?
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh. Yeah.
That's just Julia talking. Yes.
That's fair.
She's like it's Loveless and Antigone Funn are my audio drama crushes.
That's fair.
So yeah.
It's I haven't talked to Cece about you, but I know that Beth is also, you know, Dr. Bright is one of her audio drama crushes, so that's mutual.
That's like that'll be like a 10-year reunion weird spin-off thing, like a Wolf 359 wouldn't
Dr. Bright and Loveless are shacked up.
Yeah, like
I can see that.
All the audio drama,
I don't know. I don't know. I do kind of I could totally see her and Loveless working, but it's just I just don't know that it's something that would ever occur to her in terms of like pursuing a romantic relationship with anybody.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like it is like what we just said is that convenience. It's like okay, would Dr. Bright ever get married? It's like, well, okay, do we need to get married in order to move somewhere,
right? Like
to go live somewhere so somebody can get a green card? Like,
right,
I really feel like
of this.
Will we share taxes? I think that's kind of where maybe her stance on marriage would be. Like, does it make sense logistically?
Yeah. No, I agree with that, because I do think that with Green, I was sort of like, oh, like I enjoy your company and I enjoy having a physical relationship with you, and this doesn't need to ever go beyond this. Whereas I think he was like ready to go ring shopping. Like I think he was pretty close to proposing probably about the time that they broke up. Yeah, I don't think it's something that I don't know that Joan's ever sort of like sat around and sort of thought about like, oh, like when I get married or my future spouse or whatever. I don't know that that's something that's ever. I think it's telling that you and I have never really had a conversation about her romantic or, you know, other than like the sort of practicalities of the relationship with Green and what that's been for her. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, lots of things are happening in the chat. It's moving so fast. Yes, Wolf 39 is amazing. Joan Vanessa. Yeah, I could see that. I think Frank has a little crush on Vanessa, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I kind of think that's secretly happening. Not that they're together, but I think he's kind of crushing after her. I volunteered to be Dr. Bright's green card wife. Perfect. Good options. I was gonna propose and he didn't tell her about her brother. Yeah, you totally get her shit together. Yeah, I think he was gonna propose, and then he found out about Mark and was like, oh no. To Owen's credit, I do think he spent a lot of time very conflicted about it. That doesn't make it okay. But I do think he is self-aware enough to have known that it was bad and that but I think he's just very confused about what his work is and kind of what his priorities are. Yeah. Poor Alan. So to Joseph's question, do we have a plan on having an episode explore the history between Nation Green and Dr. Bright? No, I mean, no, we're not going to dedicate an episode to it, but we'll certainly be getting a little bit more of their interactions moving forward. There will definitely be a more open conversation, I think, between them than we've heard in the past. Yes. Anyway, let's see. Another. We kind of know how Green feels about his relationship with Joan, but is there any plans to talk about how Joan feels about it? Yeah. I mean, I think so. I don't think she'll be as blunt with him as we've been right now.
Well, I also think Joan knows how useful Owen could still be to her now. Yeah. For things like information. Yeah. And so she's not going to completely burn that bridge. That's the thing, is she's never fully slammed the door on him because, whereas I think probably in her relationship with Wadsworth, after everything went down, I think she did kind of like really shut that door, because it's like she kind of understands her and Wadsworth's dynamic, I think, where they're like a little bit more on equal footing, both intellectually and then also in the way that they feel about each other. Whereas I think Joan knows that Green would probably like do anything for her. Yeah. And she's like, oh, I might need that. I'm going to keep that card in my back pocket. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of talking about that. A question from Mona. Lauren as a writer and Julie as a performer, what is your favorite trait of Dr. Bright's? One strength and one flaw? What? I don't know. I think. I mean, I love how loyal she is. I was about to say loyalty. Really? Yeah. 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 I like how much it's like once you have Dr. Bright in your corner, it's like you're good to go. Yeah. And at the same time, that's like part of her flaw, completely. Which is like it will give her tunnel vision. That loyalty or that goal will give her tunnel vision. Her single-mindedness, I think, in general is both a strength and a flaw. Yeah. I'm gonna have to agree. Yeah. I'm surprised Sam Owen isn't a thing. That would be interesting. I've never ever thought of that. that is like really glitching my brain right now. Wow. Yeah. All right. Could you categorize every character according to whether they're a cat person, a dog person, or a snake person? Oh man, what do we think? Do we think Dr. Bright's a dog person or a cat person? Or a snake person? I didn't realize that those were the three categories. I didn't realize. I mean, I have never heard snake person before, but maybe. I feel like that would be the least, the least required. You just feed it. Yeah. The least required. Although, I don't know. I think maybe secretly Joan would like to just cuddle with something. Yeah. At home. Yeah. Alone. Snakes aren't very good for. They're not as fuzzy. They're not fuzzy and warm. Fuzzy. Yeah. Actually, they might be warm. I have no idea. I've not held a snake many times in my life. Yeah. It's been a long time. Yeah. Sam's definitely a cat person, I think. I think Mark loves all animals equally. Yeah. Owen is probably a cat person. I think Wadsworth is a dog person. I think she'd love to have like an attack dog. Yeah. Something that would like perfectly listen to her commands and be like very smart and obedient. I think she'd be into that. Yeah. What other shows has Mark binged since his return? Is there a show he'd binge with Joan but not Sam and vice versa? I mean, I think he's done probably most like fun Netflix shows, Yeah, what year? What year is it? It's 2017. 17. We're currently in March of 2017. I don't remember what was happening.
No. I think he would have caught up in Parks and Rec with Sam probably.
Mm.
I don't know what he and Joan would like to watch together.
Know.
I don't know that they. I think they're movie kids. Like they like watching movies together.
Yeah. I mean, a part of me is like, maybe they watched Making a Murderer after all the hype. You know what I mean?
I feel like they maybe got one episode into it and we're like, no.
Yeah, like,
never mind.
This is just gonna piss us off. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Has Mark avoided Stranger Things like the plague? You definitely. Yeah. Sense8. I think Mark would like Sense8. I think Joan would like Sense8. I don't think that they would watch it. I think that they would probably, because that also has like experimentation on special people. I think they'd get one episode in and be like, no, never mind. There's not a lot
that's kind of what happened to me in real life.
Really?
Yeah. I know, I hear it's really good, but the first episode was kind of slow, right?
The first season is...
Oh, the whole
first season is like a little...
Can you just jump into season 2 and kind of
honestly,
figure it out?
Yeah. Like I put the first season kind of on in the background. Like I said, in the season, and I was like, oh, I don't know it. I don't understand at all what's happening. I don't understand the plot, but there's some really good character moments and stuff. And then the second season is pretty fun.
Okay.
But yeah, the plot is kind of a mess. And you would not be safe for them, I don't think at all. Yeah. In the same way the Stranger Things wouldn't be. I think there'd be a lot of sort of zeitgeisty stuff that would be bad.
Yeah.
I think Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Mark would love. I think any of the Mike Schur stuff. I think Joan would really like The Good Place, actually.
Maybe like Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see. Yeah, Joan sort of like enjoying that in kind of a weird, like almost voyeuristic way. Jessica Jones definitely not. Absolutely not. Anything with abusive boyfriends would not be good. But I think mostly they're probably just like revisiting the movies that they loved to watch as kids, probably. Let's see. Community. I think they would both enjoy Community. What else in here? Besides Dr. Bright and Company, has anyone else seen Sam disappear? Yeah, I mean, yes. Yeah, in the early days when she was still kind of like out in the world a little bit, but couldn't control when things happened. I think probably the occasional person saw her duck into an alley and disappear. And I think it's one of those things that like your mind can't understand what it just saw, so it just assumes that it was being tricked by something. I don't think anybody's ever like really witnessed her disappear, other than like her parents when they died, basically. Because she's gotten pretty good at strategizing and not being seen.
Right.
How's Veronica Mars regarding trauma? Veronica Mars might be kind of hard, I think, for them. Just given like the losing, a sibling type person, I think would be hard. Yes. Anyway, I think those are all of the questions in here, other than what were Damien's parents like, which I'm not going to answer because there's a whole book coming out about him in 2020 probably, and that's going to be a part of it presumably. But they were not terrible, and they also were not the best, I would say. Yeah, am I missing anything? Or I think we got everything. So yeah, keep asking questions in the chat. The chat has been moving very quickly, so I'm gonna scroll back a little bit and see if there's been stuff. Agent Green is like a spider monkey person, not as a preference thing. He's a spider monkey in human form. It's kind of true. He's like a Labrador in human form. People are commenting on the post. If you want to look through that, and I'll look at these comments just to make sure there's nothing in here I'm missing.
Someone's asking, Melissa, I have characters for a podcast but lacking plot. How do you come up with plot for a character-driven show?
That's a great question. How do I come up with plot? Mostly I think about what I want a character to go through emotionally and kind of work from there. And I mean, there have been certain things that were sort of baked into the plot from the beginning. I mean, I think, you know, Damien is sort of a very plot-driven character in some ways, just in the fact that he affects the other characters in a certain way. And I think Wadsworth is the same, you know, kind of having those villain characters and figuring out their motivations and what they want and using that to drive the plot forward. And then I think, yeah, just thinking about like what the objective is, you know, in acting, we talk a lot about sort of your objective in your scene and then your super objective. And so thinking about sort of the super objective of the character and what they want to accomplish, and sort of the beginning, that being like Joan wants to put her family back together. And then that ends up, and like Sam wants a family and she wants to be understood by people and things like that. And you know, I think for Mark, it's that he wants to feel like he belongs and he wants to feel understood. And so I think just, you know, using those types of things to then grow a plot out of those motivations. And sometimes it means like, okay, I'm gonna create this plot to help that person onto the path. And sometimes it's about putting a ginormous obstacle in their way. Yeah.
Are you like an outliner?
No.
Yeah, me neither. A lot of people are though, and it works for them. But when I try, sometimes I'll make a list, bullet points, if anything. But I find that I have to just start writing.
Yeah.
And what happens is, as I write, I'll discover things, and sometimes I have to go back because something will contradict something.
Oh yeah.
Like, okay, so that's changed.
Yeah.
But I find that just like writing, and once you get characters talking, is like the only way.
Yeah.
To develop. Because if I just sit here and try and brainstorm ideas, nothing, and I'll get frustrated, and I'll be like, I'm terrible. Da da da.
That's an important part of writing.
But if I actually start writing for specifically dialogue, I'm like, oh, okay.
Here's where it is. Yes.
Yeah.
I definitely think that that's true. I outline seasons.
Okay. Yeah, that makes
sense. Know, because I sort of have to know where we're going. So with the 16 episode seasons, I'll do, you know, what's the arc of the 16 episodes? What's the arc of the 8 episodes? What's the arc of 4 episodes? What's the arc of 2 episodes? What's the arc of each individual episode? Kind of thinking about those smaller things. So it's like, you know, for God, what even happened in season 3? For season 3, it was like the arc is seasons 2 and 3 really. It's like get Mark back, and then season 3 breaks down into things of like the first 8 is getting Mark back from Damien. The second arc is sort of getting Mark back from Damien emotionally.
Right.
And then also, you know, Damien's getting his power back or not getting his power back and kind of playing that. And it's like that, you know, that's the big arc that obviously doesn't affect all of the characters, but then you kind of look into it and you sort of see like, okay, well then how is this gonna affect this character and what's their smaller arc within that? And then I'll, you know, a big thing that sort of drives the plot of the show is figuring out which characters are going to be in which episodes, because for so long it was the therapy format of like, okay, whose sessions are going to be, you know, kind of keeping in that even split. And obviously we've moved away from that somewhat, but there's a post on the Patreon about the structure of this season and kind of how it's done, and sort of 41 and 49 being these kind of prelude episodes to the main sort of 7-episode arc in each half. And then the character-driven episodes and things like that. So yeah, definitely kind of thinking about things in chunks like that. That's as much outlining as I do.
Yeah.
And then I have a sort of a document on my computer that's just a bunch of disparate scenes and different ideas. So it's like, there are 3 scenes that I started writing back in August because I was like, I know these scenes are going to be emotional, just the dialogue. One of those scenes turned into Mark and Damien's conversation in 48, and the other 2 are coming up. So I won't tell you which characters they are. But once I sort of had those 3 scenes, I was like, oh, here's the story of this season. Here's what it is. Yes, that was a very long-winded answer. Sorry. Oh, yeah, somebody asked a question in the post. Okay. Do the actors ever improvise any of their dialogue? It always sounds so spontaneous and realistic, especially the conversations between Mark and Damien.
Bricken sometimes will throw a little flavor.
Yeah, it's funny. I've stopped. I used to write in all of the likes and all of the and all of the swearing for Caleb. I don't really do that anymore because Brigham just finds places to put it. You have improvised a couple of like my favorite moments,
but they're not.
But they're not words. They're sounds.
I'm too anal retentive to do. I have to have permission. I'm like, I have to have permission to.
But like you have permission. I feel like you know the permission.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's funny because so for episode 50, which is a big episode that I'm not going to tell you anything about other than like we've been working really hard on it because it's our 50th episode and we want to do something big and exciting. And just to make the kind of recording process of that easier, I asked everybody to be off book. And I was talking to one actor about it, and they were like, with being off book, do we have to be word perfect? And I was like, no, I think for this, because it's a little bit different from other episodes and given this person's character, I was like, it's okay to be, to sort of, as long as you get the general idea across. And then, of course, in the actual recording, I kept correcting them because I was like, oh, no, I actually do need these things to be word perfect in some ways. Okay. And so because I spent a lot of time thinking about speech patterns of characters, and particularly in this episode, the dialogue has to kind of flow in a certain way in order to sort of make sense with the structure of the episode. So, yeah, actors, I don't think improvise as much as maybe it sounds like they do, because I do, for the most part, like the person asking the question referenced conversations between Damien and Mark. Charlie improvises occasionally, but not full lines. He will improvise words and phrasing. So he'll sort of say, like, I think the first time that Damien says sweetheart or something like that, something like kind of condescending and nicknamey, I didn't write in. I think Charlie just threw that in, and then I kind of end up writing in more stuff like that for him. So yeah, certainly some of sort of like Damien's kind of snarky comebacks. Charlie, there was one improv that Charlie did. I think in 46 or 48. I don't know why I'm looking at you like you were in the scene.
Yeah, no, I have no idea what she's potentially talking about.
But it was a line of him talking about like Agent Green. I think he was talking to Mark about Agent Green. And instead of saying Agent Green, he said Dad. At first I was like, was that intentional? Like, did you just slip and call him Dad? And no, it was sort of, Damien being like, ugh, like, this guy trying to be everybody's dad. It was really, really funny. I almost put it in there because I really liked it, but it just didn't quite work in context of the conversation.
Might have confused people.
Yeah, exactly. But it was, he'll do stuff like that sometimes. Like we'll do one take and then from there, Charlie just sort of runs with it. That's sort of what he wants. But yes, that's how many episodes are actually remaining to be recorded? 6? Yeah, 6 episodes. We've recorded 49 and 50.
How many episodes are yet to be written?
3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have partial scripts for all of the episodes, but there are 3 left that need to be completed. So yeah, nearly there, which is weird. We got another.
We start again next week, the 7th.
Yes, exactly a week from 7th? Today. We come back. So Matthew asks on the Patreon post, I don't know what the spinoffs are, but will the names of the pledge levels for Patreon be changed, or will they still be relevant, or will they still be relevant to the spinoffs? That's a great question, and something that we'll talk about as a community of people on Patreon. But probably what's going to happen is that after June, with the monthly episodes, we're going to be moving to a monthly model. So instead of being charged every episode, it's going to be charged every month. And, I'll write about all of this on the Patreon so people know. And potentially what might happen is that we might actually just move to one pledge tier. Just to kind of streamline things and so that everybody has access to everything. And, you'll be able to pledge actually below or above it, but kind of having just a standard thing just to make my life a little bit easier in terms of organizing rewards and stuff. And the rewards might change a little bit. But, you'll still have access to things like this. You'll still have access to all the bonus stuff. There's going to be some cool Patreon exclusive things coming in the next month that I'm really, really excited about. So, yes, I hope that answers your question. But that will be, that's going to be a conversation this spring in terms of like what exactly we want the Patreon to look like moving forward. Because I want to talk to you guys about that. I'll probably do a Q&A, just me, to figure that stuff out. But yes, that is the plan. Let's see. I'm so glad that things sound like improv because, yeah, I mean, we want it to sound really natural. Yeah.
Samantha. I don't even remember how I don't know.
I love that. I love that. There have been a couple of, I saw something on Tumblr the other day of somebody calling out your line in 47 in Adam's episode of, oh good, the children are here.
Oh.
It's like one of the best lines. And I completely agree. I love the way you delivered that. All right, if there's any other questions, put them in the chat again so that so that we can see them. Was it really a break for you during the hiatus? No. You guys got a little bit of a break. You had December off, basically.
Yeah.
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 No.
We
not
get
for
breaks.
me. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Break.
Yeah, why are you asking? Yeah. All we do is come in and record. Anything else?
That's not true. You guys read scripts and give feedback and that kind of stuff.
All right.
No, so for a little bit of teasing, we've been working on episode 50 for a while. So that's been it's been really heavy these past 2 months, but even sort of November and December, there was a lot of pre-production that had to happen on it. And a lot of just meetings, sort of creative meetings with Misha and stuff, because the sound design for it is much more involved. And yeah, so there's been kind of a big push to one episode, which has been unusual because typically sort of during the hiatus, because we've been on production hiatus since late November, basically.
I don't remember.
Because the production schedule got pushed up a lot because Charlie moved to Canada.
Right.
And because the last episode of part A was so Damien heavy, we got most of that recorded. I think we recorded our scenes with Andrew like the first week of December, maybe.
Okay.
But then we didn't come back to record until first weekend of February. We had a table read.
Oh yeah.
But
we didn't come back till
February. We didn't come back until February. So we had sort of 2 months off of recording, which was great because that gives me a lot of a break because honestly, sometimes the most kind of time and mental brain space consuming thing is scheduling recordings and editing dialogue and kind of keeping on top of that schedule. So I've mostly just been working on episodes 49 and 50 because, like I said, the production for that has been a little bit more heavy than normal, and then writing the rest of the season. But I, for once, am actually like ahead of schedule in writing, which is nice. Like I've got episodes written up through the end of April, basically, because I'm up through episode 53. So that's good. How long is a while? What kind of pre-production, etc. I'm not going to tell you. But I'll once episode 50 comes out, I'll explain exactly what the process for it has been because we started production on, or not production, I started writing season 4 last April, maybe. It was before I sort of moved on to writing it right before we recorded 39 and 40.
Okay.
So, and that, included sort of knowing that it was going to be the last season and kind of structuring out the episode. So in a lot of ways I've been working on, this episode since then, but, yes, all will become clear in time. Almost cool. I did. Yes, yeah. Julie's got the sweet merch shirt.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome. Got the same one. Yeah. Any other questions? What? Yeah, great big episode 50 blowout spectacular. Do I have a final scene written? I do.
And that's all she's gonna say. I think.
Yeah,
that's what it sounded like.
Yeah. Well,
You've kind of told.
I've sort of told you what Julie hasn't seen it. Nobody's seen a script for the last episode, but we've certainly talked about it. Because I've had this sort of last scene in mind for a little while.
Did we talk about doing a table read of the last episode where none of us get to read it? Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can't remember if things were real conversations or like imaginary conversations in my head or a dream. Okay, that was
this
a real
is the big problem I have, where it's like sometimes I think that I've told you guys stuff and I haven't. Like I feel like I mean, the biggest instance of this was which we talked about on live stream before, is Andrew coming up to me at the season 3 launch party and being like, "Wait, Mark is bisexual?" And I was like, "Yeah, did I not?"
I was like, and I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, it's like I'd had conversations with various people about it, and just hadn't included Andrew in any of those conversations. And he was acting in such a way that I assumed he knew.
And then he was like, "Do I need to re-record that line?" There was a line.
Oh yeah,
like, do I need to re-record that?
About Charlie Decker, and I was like, no. Yeah, I assumed
you
knew because you said that line like a bisexual man. Not that there's a way that bisexual men talk, but in the context of that line. Yes. So we're gonna do a table read for that, and nobody's gonna get to see the script before we actually. Thank you for reminding me of that, so I don't send anybody the script beforehand, because I sometimes forget about these things. Do you ever see fan theories that get a little too close to canon plans?
I don't know if I've ever.
I think so. I think there was one post on Tumblr sometime last season, early in the season, that was like, all I want is for like Joan and Mark to hug and for Damien to get punched in the face. I remember seeing it. It was like after I'd written the episode where those things happened, and I was like, it's like, that's such a specific thing, right. And that's not a theory. It was just like a fan like desire from this one listener. But that was accurate. I don't know if there's been other stuff there have been definitely little things. I think what my favorite thing to see is stuff on Tumblr or Twitter where it's like halfway correct, where it's so close to being right, but it's just not. And that always feels good, because then it's like, okay, I'm on the right track, because you never want, you don't want things to come out so out of left field, right? You want to surprise people, but you want to make it seem like
believable,
right? Exactly.
Valid.
You want it to be valid, and so seeing people get kind of close is always really nice. Can we record the table read? Yeah, I think so. I think that would be nice. Yeah, we recorded the table read for 49 and 50, and that will be available to you guys after those episodes come out. Yeah, that's definitely something I've been wanting to be better about, documenting the whole process a little bit more. So yes, ideally.
Yes. The answer is yes. She'll make it happen.
Great. Yeah, please keep me, be my...
If anything, we can just have, like, I have a camera, you have a camera.
Yeah.
And just
set up the cameras. And yeah. Yeah, we don't do table reads a whole lot, but when we do, they're always really fun. Yeah. Anyway, have you guys seen any fan theories that have been true? What's the favorite thing that you've seen that the listeners said or guessed? Or
I don't know if I've really read it or seen a lot of fan theories. I know I have. I just I don't know. I
know there are things. They're just all.
I know there are, but
leaving my brain right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot remember. Oh, we are a couple minutes away from the end. So if you guys have questions, get them in now. I mean, you'll see Julia again. She will be back for another one of these at some point. But yes, if you have any remaining questions, please ask them. I'm trying to think of if we can give them a little tease for next week's episode. If there's anything that we can.
It's an episode.
It's an episode. It's got characters in it. We're both in 49. It. It's number 49.
I don't even know. I don't know what to say as much as, like, sometimes I have to be careful because I don't.
You've never spoiled anything. I don't think anybody in the cast has ever
accidentally spoiled anything.
Oh, I do tell them to avoid fanfic.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
But why are you both so smart and funny and beautiful? I don't know. LA sunshine.
Does stuff happen in 49? Stuff happens.
Stuff happens. Some stuff happens.
There's words.
Okay,
People say words.
I feel like I can give a little fun tidbit, which is that we get to see a side of Joan that we have not seen before.
Okay, yeah, that's valid.
And it's delightful.
That's valid.
Yeah. And too, I was tweeting about this the other day. Some of you may have seen, but I was editing the episode, and we're really down to the wire on this one. This comes out in a week, and yeah, I just gave it to Misha on Monday. But I was editing Joan and Mark have a scene. That's not really a spoiler. And it was so obnoxious. You guys did 4 takes, and they were all perfect. And what ended up in there is just a complete take, which it's been I think a long time since there literally has not been not a single line had to be changed out. So yeah, just know that when you listen to it, that that is all one take, because they are that good. Yeah. Anyway, parting thoughts. What Joan and Mark talk to each other. I know. Crazy. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in and asking questions. I'm so glad that you guys are talking about your faves now. Keep that conversation going on the Discord. If you're not part of the Discord yet, what's your favorite behind the scenes tidbit? Favorite behind the scenes tidbit? Like, you mean like something that happened that was funny, or like, I don't know, what's your favorite behind the scenes tidbit? It's a very open question.
I mean, we've had a couple of those situations where one of us gets the giggles.
Yes.
And I feel like it's usually you, me, and Brigham in those situations where the giggles happen. Yeah. And once they start, you kind of can't stop. It's like really bad.
Yeah, it's really, I'll tell you guys this. I was gonna actually have it come out this month, and it just got swallowed under all the other productions that we've been doing. But I have actually been pulling out bloopers since the beginning of season 4. And so there will be a season 4 blooper reel.
Okay.
There's a lot of instances like that. There's some Donald Trump impressions in there. Andrew and Anna once spent like 5 minutes doing Donald Trump impressions. It was a nightmare. Yeah, there's some good stuff. There's some good stuff in there. There was I didn't pull this out because the sound wasn't good because it was blowing out the mics. But in 49, there was like just 20 seconds of everybody meowing. We recorded this like less than a month ago. We recorded this 2 weeks ago, and I have no recollection of people doing that. But I was listening to it, and just like all of a sudden
was I there?
Yeah,
I feel like I vaguely remember that.
It was all of us. Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And yeah, get ready for 49 for the last 8 next week.
Assuming it's ready in time.
It'll be ready. It'll be fine. You just very fast. Yeah, this has been super fun, and our next Q&A will be happening. Where's the hangout? There we go. Our next Q&A will be at the end of March. It'll be the last week of March. I'm not entirely sure because I want to do it post episode 50 because I feel like we're gonna have a lot of things to talk about with that. So thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, tune in 1 week. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.